Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 476. How you guys doing this morning? Mike Derpy.
I'm fired up beyond belief.
Derpy, how you
I
feeling,
don't know
bud?
about you.
We're going to the snow. I'm feeling great. I'm
Of
feeling great.
course, the guys are feeling great because the Pittsburgh Steelers, they qualified for the playoffs, everybody, with the win over Baltimore on Saturday. We got a little help from our friends on Sunday. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be going to play the Buffalo Bills this coming Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. And if they win that, guys, they go to Baltimore. So um, here's the thing: you could beat if they could beat this Buffalo team. There's no team they're better equipped to play and
Yep.
possibly beat than Baltimore. So
Oh
guys,
yeah.
as wild as this season's been, it's not out of the question. I refuse to be pessimistic about things. There's a lot to be optimistic about, but I have to say there's a lot to be thankful for too, guys.
Yes, there is.
I last week on the show, I may have tongue in cheek, maybe candidly have said that maybe Tennessee, if you could help us, if you could please help us this week. All you have to do is beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, which didn't seem like it would be an easy feat. Trevor Lawrence
No.
was back.
Yep.
And so as I'm watching the game, I'm realizing that the football gods are doing their thing.
Yes, they were.
And they allowed it to happen. And the Tennessee Titans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was what allowed us into the playoffs. And if we would have had to wait till last night, we wouldn't have made it because Buffalo did beat Miami, and we needed Miami to win that game. So, with that being said, being from Pittsburgh, being a Steeler fan, I believe wholeheartedly in our football gods, and sometimes I do talk to them. So, what I want to do this morning, guys, I want to take a moment of your time, and I want to channel the football gods this morning because I want to personally
Personally, thank.
thank them because it was nothing short of a miracle, nothing short of amazing. The Steeler team was down and out. They were 3 losses in a row, two of them against 2-win football teams. Everyone said they're not even going to get 500, let alone in the playoffs.
No.
So I'm gonna take a moment to channel the football gods. If you can with me, guys, think real deep, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Close your eyes.
Um,
Hum. Hum. Football gods, is that you?
Yes, it is. I'm the football god. And
Football.
I have to say that the Jacksonville Jaguars have made the biggest sin of the world, and that was stomping and messing with the terrible towel. You ask Tennessee, you ask Baltimore, you ask some of these teams in the past that have messed with the terrible towel, how bad they have been. I will put a curse on any team that does this, but I released it yesterday. I released a curse of the football gods anyone who messes with the terrible towel. And I have to say, I have released Tennessee from a curse. And they
Thank
helped
you.
us. And they really helped us. And I said to them, please help the Steelers. Please help them get into the playoffs. And they're in the playoffs. Thank
Football
you so
football
much.
gods, you did nothing short of performing
It's a
miracles.
miracle.
This
it's
team
a
is
Oh,
down
miracle.
and out.
yes. I performed the miracle for the Steelers to get in to save Mike Tomlin to have another winning season. I am the football god.
We love that. We appreciate you, football god. And as I said, we I just don't understand how time after time a team thinks that they're going to be better than
Mm-hmm.
everybody and come in and mess with that towel. And that's exactly what Jacksonville did. And they haven't exactly played well since they've messed with the terrible towel, have they, football gods?
No, they have been 3-6, and guess what? They failed. They failed miserably yesterday, and I put the curse on them, the curse of the football gods, the terrible towel, and my good friend Myron Cope. We are here, and we have put the curse on anyone who messes with the terrible towel.
That's
You don't
amazing,
mess with the
football
towel.
gods. You don't do it. You don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
They went 3-6. The Jacksonville Jaguars did since that moment. They lost their playoff spot to us. They by them losing, we get the spot. It isn't any more I mean, this is cut and dry. And again, the Tennessee Titans, I think it was Lendell White and maybe somebody else might have shined their shoes.
It was Lendell White.
And we will thank you. And we thank you so much because, like I said, we kind of told people last week that we would get a hold of you if the Tennessee Titans would be able to pull this off and have you lift that from Tennessee. So now maybe Tennessee could have a little bit of success and finally get out from underneath that rock they've been stuck under for about 5 years or so.
Yes, I have taken the curse away from Tennessee and Mike Vrabel. I want them to succeed now. So therefore, I have removed the curse of the football gods. And I want to say thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Darby, for having me on here tonight to say to you that I have taken the spell off of Tennessee. And Jacksonville, they have the spell on them now. Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence will never play well again.
I like the
Trevor Lawrence's career is done.
I like the sounds of that, football gods. Like I said, we do appreciate everything you did.
Yes.
And as I said, everybody's getting ready for the playoffs. We have a 1 o'clock Sunday. It's cut and dry, regular football time, regular football day. The fans are excited, and they're chomping at the bit to get a hold of these Buffalo Bills football gods. So maybe, just maybe, we might get a hold of you down the road to, maybe ask for one more favor. But
one more.
As of right now, football gods, again, we thank you, and please bring the curses of hell down on the Jacksonville.
I will put them down, Jacksonville down, and I will put a curse on the Buffalo Bills so that the Pittsburgh Steelers can win their game.
The football gods are so much nicer than I thought they were.
Coper here.
Yes. Well, thank you, football gods. You are the greatest. We will continue to serve you well with the terrible towel, of course, and everything that we do, and all of our rituals, and everything that goes into game day. Football gods, we thank you so much. You have a great week, and as I said, you might be hearing from us again. So, we thank you so much.
Thank you, football god.
Yes, you're welcome. Have a good one, Darby, Michael, and Ryan. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's channel football gods out. Hold on here. My computer's going to let me channel the football god out here in just a moment, I swear. Wow. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Yes, welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. That was the football gods. You wonder what they sound like? That's what they sound like.
You
wonder what an angel sounds like? That's what an angel sounds like.
That was the voice of an angel.
That was the
voice of God. That was the voice of a god. We have supernatural powers here at the Two Dumb Yinzers.
Absolutely, everybody. We do want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking out the show. We have a lot of things going on today, guys. This is going to be a big show, guys. We got Steeler football to talk about. We got playoffs to talk about. At the end, we're going to talk briefly about the Penguins, briefly about the national championship, but also, everybody, I do want to say I also am going to be putting my own personal health at risk today on the show. Yes, stick around till the end of the show to find out what this is all about, guys. I have a great show up my sleeve for today, but I do want to start off with oh man, I got my hairs on the back of my neck are standing because of the football gods, guys.
Oh, I love it. I love the football gods. When you told me we were inviting a god onto the show, I was worried here at Steelers Central that it would collapse upon me.
You were for the lightning was going to strike.
Yes. When you bring gods into this, I get worried here.
Yeah. Well, hey. But I got to say, good morning. Good morning to Derpy. Good morning to Mike at the Steelers Central Mobile Studio. Guys, we got some Steelers to talk about today. We were kind of scared on Friday because we said, you know what, the Steelers season might be over here by the end of the weekend. As the football gods mentioned, and duly noted that he took care of business. And I assume football gods is a he. I wouldn't think that the football gods is a she, but you never know.
The football gods could be whatever they want to be right now since they got us into the playoffs.
That's right.
Amen.
They could identify as whatever they want.
As long as it's the Steeler fan.
Yeah. The Steelers, they won. They won on Saturday, guys. They won the game that they needed to win 17-10. Again, this is the second time we won 17-10 over the Ravens this season. How wonderful it is, and how wonderful it is to know that we have half of the Baltimore Ravens losses. They have 4 losses, and we gave them 2.
And we're 5-1 against the best division in football. Just going to throw that out there. So, like Ryan said yesterday at the studio, who really won the AFC North?
Exactly. Who really won the AFC North? If your team went 5-1 in the division, in the best division ever, and I'm going to prove it's the best division ever here in just a moment. If you win that division 5-1, you know who really won the division. The team that got beat by us twice, I don't know, man. You're gonna that's sketchy. Yes, you're good at beating other teams, but division wise, did you really win the division at the end of the day, Baltimore?
I don't think they did. I don't think they did. But hey, the only thing that matters is we made the playoffs and we beat the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't care if you rested all your starters. We were playing 5th, 6th string DBs and linebackers.
Mike makes a great point.
And 3rd string quarterback.
And they found a way.
As we beat this Ravens team 7 of the last 8 times, and that's even a crazy number if you think about it. Even if you're a Steeler fan,
it goes back even further than that. I think
it really
10
does.
Of 14.
Yes, 10 of 14. And the Steelers, they win this football game, guys, against the backups and the starters. And don't, come on. I seen Queen in there all game. I seen a bunch of their starters in there.
Trenton Simpson played the game of his life to show that he should be taking over for Patrick Queen next year. So don't tell me they weren't trying, Baltimore Ravens fans.
And you got to say this, as Mike and Derpy stated, we were playing all backups too, basically, because our linebackers are down to a bare minimum. Our safeties are down to a bare minimum. We're playing with a 3rd string quarterback. So give me all this bull crap about your backups. You had a 2nd string quarterback at least playing.
Yeah.
We came into town and we weathered the storm, literally and figuratively, and we found a way to win this football game, guys. Put the Steelers at 10-7 and gave them an opportunity to make the playoffs. Ravens dropped to 13-4 on the season. Of course, they're still going in as the number 1 seed. They get next week off. In the Steelers, again, we are going to Buffalo on Sunday afternoon at 1:00. Yeah. And guys,
I was getting used to the Saturday games.
It was about 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I do want to talk about is this, just briefly. The Steelers, if you recall, beat Buffalo in preseason 27-15, which doesn't sound important because guess what? It was preseason. However, if you match what the starters did in that game, we were up 14-0 in the first quarter, 20-0 at the half, and they scored 15 points at the end of the game with trash points. So, say what you want. I don't think this is the same Buffalo team that we seen last year during the season that beat us up pretty good. This is a Buffalo team that needed to get all the way to the last night to get to the game against Miami to help them get into the playoffs. This isn't the same Buffalo team that people were calling your Super Bowl favorites at the beginning of the season. This isn't the same Buffalo team that you've seen over the past couple seasons. I think this team is beatable. A lot of teams were calling for Kansas City, but I say, be careful what you watch, what you wish for, because, Kansas City ain't playing great, but they've been there, they've done that, and they have the experience, Mike, that I was kind of worried about Kansas City. I'm happy going to Buffalo.
I am too. I would have preferred going up against Kansas City. I just their receivers don't scare me as much as Buffalo's receivers scare me. Really, because if you play Kansas City, you shut down Travis Kelce, you're going to win the game. Buffalo, I think, is a little harder matchup for us, but I like it. I think it's going to be a good matchup, especially if Minkah Fitzpatrick is able to play, because that's going to be huge. We're 1-10 without TJ. I don't want to know what our record is without TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick at the same time. It's got to be worse than that. So hopefully, if Minkah's back, I'm leaning. I think it's going to be a close game if Minkah plays.
You got to recall too, and again, I hate to keep beating the preseason drum because it is what it is. But they did play Allen well into the second quarter, if I'm remembering right, because we were saying, "Wow, they're still playing their starters.
Yeah,
and they're still getting dominated
by that."
So, this game, it could really be up in the air. This team, the Steeler team, they're giving the longest odds to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
They are, but on the other hand, this Steeler team is also not this particular one, but the Steelers are 2-1 against Baltimore or against Buffalo all time in the playoffs. So, you know what? Don't count these guys out because of all the teams I watched this weekend, we seem like we're the only team that's actually hitting our stride at the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, Philadelphia laying a huge egg.
I wouldn't. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there were so many things that are showing that these teams aren't hitting their stride, and the one team that is looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys.
Yeah, it's us. Yeah. We had that 3-game losing streak where it looked like all the wheels are off. We're falling apart. Season's over. Then we righted the ship. And now we're going in on a high note. Would you rather be us or would you rather be Philadelphia going in on, I don't know what their record is going in these last handful of games, but they haven't been playing well. Pittsburgh has been playing well. And Buffalo, might not be playing their best ball, but they've rattled off, I think, 5 straight wins as well against some pretty good teams. So this might be the matchup of the weekend. 2 teams that are coming in on a nice little win streak. And right now we're playing better than them, but I think they have a little bit more skill positions on offense, a little bit better, but it's going to be a damn good matchup, man. But, we're missing key players. They're missing key players. Matt Milano is out for the year. He's one of the better linebackers in the league coming out of the 4-3. So this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a really, really good game.
This is a game that's totally winnable. Excuse me. If the Steelers, in fact, they go in, they study up, they go back and watch the games that the Bills lost this season, see what it was that other teams did against them, and are able to, duplicate this and create a game plan and strategy that could align with that. Don't go in and do what it is that the Steelers do and think, hey, we're going to over whatever you, because it's not going to work, because we're not a super team. I mean, we have potential to do super things. And like I said, we could somehow sneak into the championship game. I truly, honestly believe it, but they have to go in. They got to they got to study up. They got to watch film, figure out what it is that they got to do, because this Buffalo team, as I said, they are as beatable as they've been in a few years, just like Kansas City. Mike, what else? This division here.
Oh,
let me go back. I want to say I'm beginning to wonder if this is all from Mike Tomlin's sleeve. Maybe he
did this on purpose.
Maybe he is so smart that the guy that most people want his head here halfway through the season. Maybe he's such a good coach that he had this whole thing planned out to where we're going to lose 3 games to 3 bad teams, and then come back with the guy that he knew was going to be the starter. And win the way that we did and go to the playoffs. Maybe this is a mastermind plan and not just kind of falling ass backward in the playoffs, Mike.
So you're saying this was Mike Tomlin's master plan all along? Well, it's too. Hey, Kenny went down. Let's throw Mason in there. Let's throw Mitch in there in these games. He's going to suck it up on offense. The defense, we're rotating in a lot of new people on the secondary, a lot of new people in the linebacking court. Let them struggle. And then we'll keep Mason on the sidelines.
Yes.
And then we'll let him come riding in on a white horse with that beautiful flowing mane of his.
Who's out
and
for,
lead us
who's
into
out
the
for
playoffs.
6 weeks with an ankle sprain, man? Who's out for 2 months with a hammy? This got Mike Tomlin's handprints all over it.
He told Deontay early in the season, take your time coming back. Muth, take your time coming back. Cam, take your time
Cam
coming
hurt
back.
his vagina and he was out for 2 months. Come on.
I want you guys healthy and ready to go later in the year. Broderick, we're going to shut you down. We're going to let Chooks play and suck, and then we're going to put you in.
Yeah. Well, there's
a lot of masterminding with Mike Tomlin there, Brian. He saw what was wrong and then changed it and got the team to where we need. He got George Pickens to get his head on right. Yes. Was Tomlin part of the problem? Yes. But was he part of the solution? Yes. Part of if you don't recognize there's a problem and you don't change stuff, that's bad. It's good when you recognize there's a problem and you change it and those changes work. If we're going to criticize them for the bad, we got to, praise them for the good. If we're going to praise them for the good, we got to criticize them for the bad.
Next step, what they should do, I don't know if this is a coach's thing or if it's TJ Watt or any leader. Somebody really needs to break open the us against the world mentality in this locker room.
Yeah,
that seems to work out a lot of times for teams that it's psychologically.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. TJ Watt let's just speculate that they could get through a couple rounds here. TJ Watt can be available by the Super Bowl. And if he is, this could be something like one of these Ray Lewis maneuvers. How remember old Ray used to get these guys fired up and let's do it for the bus here in Pittsburgh. We kind of did.
Yep.
The leaders
got them fired up.
They got to get inside these guys' head. They have to, because when this team plays with heart, they're very hard to beat. We've seen that over the past couple seasons, even with some of the bad, dire situations they were in. When they played meaningful games, They found a way to win last year with in Atlanta when Craig Hayward, after Franco Harris died, they played the Raiders. Every time there was a game that popped up with emotional attachment to it, the Steeler team, they found a way. Leaders got to get inside these guys' head for the next month and make them believe and make them feel that there's a chip on their shoulder and it's us against the world. And you just got to keep these guys motivated, and you got to do it better than the other team. And that's what I'm saying. They have a lot that they could play off of.
Yeah, and what needs to happen to you're talking about leaders need to get in their head. Leaders need to step up. Like Cam Hayward specifically. This guy's played in 7 playoff games and has 7 tackles. That can't happen. TJ Watt's not here. You need to step up and be a force. That we haven't seen you be a force all year since coming back from your injury. He needs to step it up and show why fans think he is a great Steeler and deserves to have a Super Bowl and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. This is his moment to shine. There's no TJ Watt. There might not be a Minkah Fitzpatrick. You're the highest paid player on this team now on defense. You're the most tenured player on this team. You need to step up and show it and not have good quotes after the game that the media and fans fawn over. Have that game that you think it's you and Aaron Donald and everyone else. You need to be that guy now. And I think we're kind of seeing like people on offense get that mentality of us against the world, Ryan, is Broderick Jones. Don't sleep on us. Don't let us in. Don't slip up. And his thing today, you slipped up. So like it's seeming like some of those, it might be those younger guys, those guys who have won championships in college. You're seeing that fire from them, from Broderick Jones. You're seeing that fire from George Pickens, who had 0 targets on Saturday. But that was one of the best games he played. He was running his routes with determination, knowing that the ball is probably not coming to him. It's these guys, these younger guys that have been on these playoff runs in college that I think they're going to be the ones to help fuel this fire on this team.
You know what I like about this team now, Mike, that I liked earlier in the season? They found themselves. They got an identity now. And here's the thing. You say what you will, but they had no identity for a season and 3 quarters. They didn't know what it was that they were doing well, what it was, because they weren't doing much well. But now that they really established a run, and now that they're also able to pass the ball, that opens it up for the running game. And in turn, the running game opens it back up for the passing game. So the fact that they have a plan, they have an identity, the dink and the dunk and the pass out into the bubble, in the bubble flats, where it was getting so unpredictable, which makes me wonder, can you really be so bad at one point in the season and be so much better at another point in the season like the Steelers have done this year? Again, I'm not saying that this is something that came out of Tomlin's sleeve, but if you're going to write a story, this is the way to write it.
Oh yeah, like the script writers were all over this one for the Steelers this year. Is what
script writers were on,
they were on something, but no, like it just seemed ever since Canada was fired, then Kenny went down, like the offense just rallied around Mason after they saw Mitch. It's like, hey, this is our last one. This is our last guy. We got to do something, and everyone's rallying around Mason for some reason. I don't know if it's like him personally or just the situation they're in, but this offense is clicking and moving. They have a rhythm. I think we were talking about that last week of how it's just in rhythm. Even like these weird little screen passes that you were just saying that were predictable, they're kind of working now. The little swing pass out to the running back, we saw it a couple times to Najee and Jalen.
It's all you're doing
hitting before they weren't hitting
after
earlier.
A while. If it's all you're doing, Mike, we went whole games where that's all we did.
Yeah, and it's like the play calling, like it's more or less the same playbook, but the play calling, the play sequence.
There's an art to it. That you can't just get out there and call play. There's an art to. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's why, the way they have it, Eddie Faulkner draws up the game plan, and then Mike Sullivan's the one who calls it because he has the experience calling the plays, and you're seeing that. He's an experienced play caller. He knows when to run, when to pass, when to run the jet sweep, run the bubble screen. The other thing that ticked me off this game was him doing the little tosses to the outside that weren't working. Yeah. Like, just run the ball forward. And like Najee said after the game, the offense is executing. And he said that was the biggest problem early in the year was executing. And now they're executing. These plays that weren't working early in the year are now working. The line's blocking better. The receivers are running better routes. The running backs are hitting the holes faster. They're recognizing where where the hole is going to be before it's there. So it's just execution, man. They're executing so much better than they were in the beginning of the year.
Mike, this is one thing they got to do. They got to find a way to win a playoff game because everyone's excited. Everyone is on board now. You pulled everybody back in. And if we go one and done again, I think that, there's going to be a lot of, murmuring between the fans between now and next year. And I this team, they need to win bad. I hope that they could do it this week. I hope the players can get up for it. I hope the coaching staff could get, the guys ready. This team is so due for a win in the playoffs. This is huge. I do want to say, Mike, I want to go back to just real quick. Where do I want to go to?
Where do you want to go to?
Just to talking about all the teams in the division again.
Yeah.
There was again, who really won this division? So we're having, we're not having a bad year is kind of where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
It isn't like we're this terrible team. We weren't a good team at times. We were a confused team at times. They brought it together. They won this division. Again, they went 5-1 against the teams in this division. If you're talking about, in the best division ever, apparently, because this has not happened, guys, since 1935, where all the teams in the division had been 500 or better. Not ever. We had went 5-1 in the division that did this for the first time in NFL history, guys. So again, are we that bad of a team? I don't think so. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling optimistic this morning. Derpy, how are you feeling? Are you feeling optimistic about this team?
I'm feeling incredibly optimistic.
Are you?
Incredibly. I mean,
go ahead, Derp.
This win, I like to use reverse psychology because I've been doing it and going with it. But this one right here, someone in that locker room has to stand up and say, we are the Pittsburgh Steelers and we're going to win this thing, regardless of the teams in front of them.
I agree. And you know what? And it plays out like this, Derpy. We got the Buffalo Bills. Then we would play Baltimore if we would win. That's the only team we could play in the second round because we are the 7th seed and we would have to play the highest and they would have to play the lowest. So no matter what, we go to Baltimore in the second week, and it could play out that we could play the Browns in the championship game if it gets that far. Again, but bottom line is you could have 3 of the 4 final teams after this week in the AFC can all be AFC North teams. They could be Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and then Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then Cleveland would be playing the winner of Miami and Kansas City. So, it could very easily be 3 out of the 4 teams in the AFC North left in the playoffs going into the divisional weekend, which would be amazing in my opinion, because I think we have a great advantage because we know how to play these 2 teams better than everybody else.
Yeah.
We went 3-1 against these 2 teams and we play these teams every year. So I think that gives us an advantage compared to other teams. Again, I am as well, Derpy, feeling optimistic.
I'm feeling very optimistic. And like real quick, I want to piggyback off something you said, like, how you were saying, like, our record, it really isn't that bad. Look at the teams Arizona beat this year.
Philadelphia,
Dallas. Look, New England beat Buffalo. They beat us. Yeah. So let's take that stuff into account too when we're looking at this game coming up against Buffalo, and when we're looking at the season as a whole. Like the teams that we lost to were, it kind of sucks we lost to them, but like you look at the teams that they beat, and you're like, okay, they're not that far off too.
Season.
Yeah, like Indy was close to making the playoffs as well.
With the exception of San Francisco and Baltimore, I think they would have the most dominant seasons. But again, you go back, you see San Francisco, they had a 3-game losing streak against teams they should have probably beat.
Oh, yeah. They should have beat Cleveland. And they
Yeah.
So it happens at every team. Like,
the Rams just beat the Rams just beat them yesterday.
Yeah, and we beat the Rams.
Exactly.
So, and we got curb stomped by the 49ers. So it's, I think Derpy made us said it early in the year, or you did, Ryan. It's all about timing when you play a team.
Exactly.
And we were just unfortunate to play 2 really bad teams at a time when our team was at the lowest. But now, we're at the highest point, and like you need those bad games to face that adversity. So later on in the season when that stuff comes up, okay, we've been here before. We may have lost in that game, but okay, now we know what to do because look where we got from this loss. We saw it. Like, let's take it back to the year we won the Super Bowl last, or the first Super Bowl. We were a 6 seed and made it all the way. Now we're a 7 seed. No 6 seed had ever won a Super Bowl before the Steelers did it. No team no 7 seed has to win a Super Bowl. So now this team has a chance to make history again. Yes, it's a completely different team, but hey,
Every Super Bowl
it's there.
champion has an identity.
Yeah, and this could be the team of overcoming adversity. Look, the injuries throughout this team.
All right, guys,
it
it's
can
time
happen.
to talk a little bit about the numbers from the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph, he on third down alone, which is a big down. And
Money down,
if
baby.
you're successful with third downs, chances are you're pretty successful as a quarterback. Mason Rudolph was on third downs. He went 7 for 9, 96 yards, a touchdown, and 148.1 passer rating.
Not bad.
Not bad. Also in the game, he went 18 for 20, 152 yards total, a touchdown, which in that weather I think is exceptional. And in the last 3 games, which is the 3 games that he played, he had a 75% completion percentage, guys.
Ooh.
He threw for 239 yards per game. He had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, was 3-0, and he was it was only one behind Tua for 60-yard touchdown passes. He threw 3 of them in the 3 games that he played, 60-yard touchdown passes. Tua was the only guy in the league who had more with 4 all season long. Mason managed to get 3 of them in the last 3 games of the season. I am a Kenny guy. I've always been a Kenny guy. I'm a Pitt guy, but there's nothing in my mind that says that Mason Rudolph shouldn't get the start. I'm feeling really confident about Mason Rudolph, guys.
So am I. And like Brian just said on the board, asked, like, has Tomlin announced the starter? He hasn't, I don't think, but I think it's assumed that it will be Mason. And
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how if it wouldn't be. My mind would be blown if they literally even made this a conversation.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I think they're going with, they're going to go with the hot hand. He's more than just the hot hand. I think he is the guy for right now. Off season, we'll have all time to talk about who should be the guy next year. But right now, in this time, Mason is the guy. You cannot take him out of the game. I don't care if he throws 5 interceptions next week before the first half ends. I don't think you go out from him. Just the way he's played up to this point. You ride and die with Mason Rudolph.
I think at this point, you're right. Kenny didn't do terrible, but I just feel that Mason Rudolph looks confident. He's out there reading defense as well. He's very comfortable in the pocket. Sometimes he might be a little too comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah. And he mentioned that after the game. I was sacked twice. That's not on the guys. That's on me.
I like to see a little bit more awareness on that particular kind of play, because there was a few times. And the thing about Mason, he doesn't get sacked. He fumbles when he gets hit as well.
Yeah.
And that could be a problem. But if he takes this week and focuses and works a little bit more on that, I think everything he's doing at the quarterback position is better than what we've seen from Kenny this year.
Yeah. And he's poised in the pocket. He doesn't let the pressure affect him. But that's normally a good thing. But at some point, you got to know when to bail from the pocket or just hurry up and throw it. But he has the confidence in himself, confidence in his receivers and the line that, you know what, I'm not going to get sacked. I'm going to be able to make a play out here, which it's serving him well. And that Ravens pass rush, man, it's always a tough pass rush to go against. So and Buffalo's front 7 is not what it was at the beginning of the year. So I think his time in the pocket is going to serve him well this week coming up.
Also, I do want to say, for anybody that wondered, now Mason Rudolph is a big guy. We talked about it last week. He's kind of a deceptive 6'5".
Yeah.
Big Ben, 6'5", 240 in his playing days. Mason Rudolph, 6'5", 236.
They do not look the same.
They don't.
Ben was always wrapped up with so much. He looked like he was a lot
Ben
bigger.
looked like a big old D end ready to stop the run.
So I mean, come on, this guy's he's a big guy. I mean, we could look at that and say that's a plus. Back in the pocket. Yeah, I mean, he has the flat head and thing in the butt chin, but besides for that, he stands in the pocket well. And as I said, I have faith in Mason right now. Let's go over some more of these numbers from the game on Saturday, fellas. I do want to say this before I start that.
Yeah.
Najee Harris, the first Pittsburgh Steeler ever to rush for 1,000 yards in their first 3 seasons as a Steeler. Crazy. That is, we've had Franco, we've had Bettis, we've had Foster, we've had a bunch of guys.
Left
And
Bell.
for him to be the
Yeah.
first guy, come on. I mean, everyone who wanted Najee dead, I think you might want to rethink that.
Well, yeah. Now he's getting those the holes that he was used to getting in Alabama, are nice and big. But no, he is running
line.
away. We haven't seen him run, I want to say, since his rookie season. And a lot of that is going with the passing game. Now teams don't have to, they can't just crowd the box. And now that they're crowding the box, though, too, that line is playing at a whole nother level that we haven't seen them play in a long time. And they're opening up some big holes for Najee. And I think Najee's becoming a more patient runner. Not like a Love Bell patient runner, but he's giving that little bit of hesitation to wait for the hole to develop and then hitting that hole instead of just doing what he was doing early in the year, which was no one could figure out what he was doing. But now he was running extremely well. This is why he was picked in the first round. He's running with a purpose, running with determination, and seeing the field like he hasn't seen in a long time.
You got to win in the trenches, and that's what things that good football teams do. And if you watch the
Exactly.
Philadelphia team last year that played all season, they won in the trenches, and that's what you got to do. And that's what we're doing now. If you think to yourself, okay, well, they only played, who they played these past 3 weeks. They didn't play great defenses. That's fine. And you're going to play better defenses from here on out. You're going to play better defensive lines, and the trenches are going to get tougher. But you know what? Those 3 games shows you that these guys are capable of getting, of getting the job done. They're not just this group of idiots who can't block.
Yeah.
So as I said, I think that these last 3 weeks has really done a lot for this team psychologically to show these guys, hey, we aren't a bad football team, and if we go out there and do what we can do and bring it, we could have a chance in any game, and that's been the case, Mike.
Yeah, and like if they weren't opening up these big holes, we would be, livid. We would be destroying this unit. But, my God, they are playing with a purpose. You want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles line last year? He was one of the driving force of that, Isaac Seumalo. And now he has come on this second half of this year, and he is just destroying people. And my God, go back and watch that game again and just watch Seumalo run block. He is bulldozing people. James Daniels is bulldozing people. Broderick Jones might be the most athletic tackle in the league. I've never seen a tackle pull so much in a season, let alone a game. How many times he pulls. They're a bunch of road graders on that line, and in the playoffs, if you can run the ball, control the clock, that is huge, and they just need to keep it up.
One other accolade we do want to talk about real quick, Mike, before we move on, is TJ Watt did win the sack. He is the sack leader again, 19 sacks. I followed the top 5 guys very closely throughout the day. Nobody got close. TJ did, even though he got hurt in the last game. He is the first NFL player to lead the league in sacks 3 different seasons, and only 4 players, one including himself, have had 19 plus sacks in multiple seasons. So as we wait for him to heal up and maybe get him back somewhere down the road in the postseason, he did in fact win the sack leader once again. Guys, he is the sack leader of the 2023-2024 season.
Yeah, but what's his pass rush win rate? That's what truly matters in the NFL.
Well,
not stacks, not forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, touchdowns, tackles. What's your rush win rate? Okay.
Ask Malik Garrett because Myles Garrett, because for some reason he's probably going to win defensive MVP ever. The guy hasn't had a sack in a month in Cleveland, but you know what?
TJ Watt had equaled his sacks in the past 6 games in one game. Yeah.
So also, guys, let's continue on here. We have Najee Harris ran the ball 26 times for 112 yards and a touchdown. Jaylen Warren had a little bit of the whoopsies. The ball was wet and he had 9 carries for 33 yards. Deontay Johnson led the way for the Steelers with 4 catches and 89 yards, a touchdown. As Mike mentioned, there was no targets to George Pickens, but again, that was just as effective as him catching the ball sometime, because it kept the coverage basically focused on George Pickens all game, even though he didn't make a catch.
Yeah, they were rolling that safety every single play over there. And but you watch George throughout the game, the body language, he was happy. He was smiling on the sidelines, laughing and joking with everyone. He would always talk to Mason with a little smirk on his face. Mason a little smirk back to him. And so they knew what they were doing.
Things are a lot easier and better when you're winning.
Yeah.
They were winning.
Hey, remember, Mason's the only Steeler that George did not delete off his Instagram.
That's right.
And those two have a weird connection, apparently. And Mason Rudolph is the George Pickens whisperer.
Eric Rowe on defense led the team
Oh
in
my God.
tackles.
He's been a dog.
10 tackles, 2 assisted tackles. Watt had 6 tackles, 2 assisted tackles, and 2 sacks. Marcus Golden and Mark Robinson both had 2 big sacks in the game.
Yep.
Yes,
Boz
sir.
1 for 1 field goal attempts. Harvin had a 22-yard punt in the game. I could have just blew my brains out on the spot. And what's the guy, Mike? The guy, our new return guy. He had the amazing, the huge play on the kickoff. They could possibly won us the game. Was the play where he went out of bounds, grabbed the ball while he was out of bounds, and got the ball at the 35-yard line.
Play. That's good.
Brilliant.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And people are saying, "Oh, we got to change this rule. It's a loophole. It's not within the spirit of the rule."
No,
it's in the. Don't try and coffin corner or kick it out of the end zone. Yeah,
that was a very smart play. That was one of the smartest plays I've seen all season.
I love it. I think it happened like a couple other times this year.
Such a high IQ play.
Yeah, that and like when and on punts when the coverage team touches the ball, like I love when returners go and grab the ball because even if they fumble, you get the ball back. Yeah, and I love smart special teams plays because they don't happen all the time, and when they do happen, they are brilliant.
Absolutely. Mike, I do want to go over some of these scores real quick from over the weekend because they are all relevant. We're just going to go through them fast. We still got a bunch of things we're going to go over here today. Let me pull up my screen. I'll go through these. I do want to let me get started here, and I'll fill you in as we go. Yeah. All right. Of course, the Steelers. We know the Steelers won their game on Saturday. The other game Saturday night was the Houston Texans and the Colts. The Houston Texans, they beat the Colts 23-19. If they would have tied, that would have affected us some way. However, they didn't, and it doesn't so well. Tennessee and Jacksonville, the big game for us as Steeler fans. Tennessee Titans and Mike Vrabel, 28, Jaguars 20. As we spoke to the football gods earlier, they made things right. So,
yeah, Tajay Spears, baby. Every time he touched the ball, I freaked out, but then he would big gainers and big touchdown.
Call it even for 2002 Titans fans.
In the NFC North, the Lions win 30-20 over the Vikings.
Sam Laporta injured though.
This good one here, Mike, Saints over the Falcons 48-17.
Yeah. Yes, and at the end of the game, the lineup in victory formation, give it to the running back who's had a terrible year all year. The boys were like, no, we want to give him a touchdown against your heated rival. I love it. I love it.
It's nice to see the Saints. I think they snuck in, didn't they? No, they did not. They were
Packers
close,
did.
But the Packers got in, and then Tampa Bay got the win on that division. So we'll get to that in just a moment as well. The Battle of Ohio. Of course, nobody played for the Browns, but it's still always nice to see the Bengals beat up on the Brownies with, it was the reason I liked it was because it made everybody in the division above 500, and that gave us that distinct record that no division has ever had in the history of Super Bowl era and NFL. Another game, guys. The Buccaneers 9, Panthers nothing. Back-to-back shutouts for the Panthers.
Oh,
they were the second longest tenured team to not have a shutout since 2002. They now go back-to-back shutout losses, guys.
And they don't have a first-round pick, and they don't have a franchise quarterback, and they don't have a number one wide receiver that they all gave to the Bears. I love it.
Another game in the elements was the Jets and the Patriots. The Jets managed to win this game 17-3 over New England. The Bears and Packers go at it. Packers get the win 17-9. They do qualify for the playoffs. And they play Dallas this weekend. They play on Sunday.
Ooh, let's go Packers.
Let's go Packers.
Speaking of the Cowboys get the win over the Commanders 38-10. The Raiders finish off
their coach.
The Commanders just fired their coach.
The Raiders they take out the Broncos 27-14 in the AFC West. This was the one that surprised me, guys. 27-10, the Giants over the Eagles. The Giants literally had no. I mean, you're watching this team a lot of the season, and I think they had no chance to do anything. They just stunk. And they went out and they beat the Eagles, who just as of a month ago they were still undefeated. Lost a bunch of games since then. They dropped guys. Now they are in they're in the wild card spots. Yeah. Dallas won that division.
Yeah, they lost 5 of their last 6 games.
And they just don't look like they could get it back. They were trying. I'm watching this. I'm thinking, what are they doing?
And like Jalen Hurts had a comment, I think before this game, something like, "Hey guys, we need to listen to the coaches." So that's not a good sign when your quarterback saying, "Hey, we need to listen to the coaches." The coaches sounds like he's losing the team down there.
Seattle gets the win over Arizona 21-20. Rams beat the 49ers 21-20. Both NFC West games go 21-20. Kansas City squeaks by the Chargers 13-12. They kick a field goal to win it at the end of the game. And of course, the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins last night, 21-14. I crashed out on the couch. It was 14-7 Miami at halftime. And of course, it was already out of our interest. It didn't matter what had happened. So I closed my eyes. I woke up and Buffalo had scored 2 touchdowns at some point, 21-14, the final score last night in South Florida, putting Miami into a wild card game and giving the Buffalo Bills the division. So that's an interesting way that played out. Here's how your playoffs look this weekend, fellas. Saturday, 4:30, the Browns at the Texans. The Browns at the Texans. The Browns are number 5 overall. The Texans are number 4 because they were division winner. The next game on Saturday is Saturday at 8 o'clock. The Dolphins at the Chiefs. I believe this is 2-6. And then the first game on Sunday is the Steelers at the Bills, which is a 2-7. So 3-6 would have been the prior game. All the AFC games, they play first Saturday and then into Sunday. And then after that, the NFC games take over. The Packers at the Cowboys, the Rams at the Lions at 8 o'clock on Sunday. And then finally the game on Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. Kind of a strange, I've never seen this before, I don't think. The Eagles at the Buccaneers, and that will be Monday night playoff game. I dig.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh.
I kind of like that Rams line game, the Jared Goff, Matt Stafford matchup.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be interesting.
And like the Lions, they being screwed over in Dallas, they had to play all their starters this week and had to win. Sam Laporta, their rookie tight end, who's damn good, he got hurt. I don't know if he's going to be available. So things aren't looking too good for the Lions going into this game. But I think they're going to pull it out.
I think the Lions they're a pretty damn good team. I think they are probably going to win. And just because they're a solid team. You lose a player here, you lose a player there. But you
Rams are coming in hot, though.
Come in with and Stafford is a former Lions quarterback. So there's a lot of storylines that's going to go into this game. It's going to keep this one interesting. I do want to say, fellas, the picks are in. I can announce who won the picks this week because the games are completely done. No games are left to play in the regular season. Mike, you had got 9 games correct out of 15 this weekend. I do want to say you both overshot on your
a little bit
on your tiebreaker. Derpy, you had 45 picked on your tiebreaker. Mike, you had 31. The overall score was a combined total of 27 points, but it didn't matter. Mike, you had 9 wins out of 15 games. Derpy, 12 wins out of 15 to finish out the regular season, beating Mike on the picks. Hey, great job, man. Now we head into the playoffs where it matters.
Yep.
Mike, what do you think, man? You going to be able to bounce back after this?
I'll be able to bounce back.
That's an ass whooping, man.
Well, that is an ass whooping, and sometimes you need those to reset, reevaluate, and formulate a better game plan.
All right, I like it. I like the mentality on that.
Yeah, hey, me and Mike T are going to be cooking this week to figure out get these picks back on track.
Guys, I don't want to take a whole long period of time. We want to blow through. Let's blow through some of these grades real quick. We have a lot of things left. We have quite a few things to still do on the show today. So to start with you, Mike, we're just going to go through real quick. Quarterbacks, what do you grade the quarterback play for the Steelers this past weekend?
B+.
B+. Derpy, quarterback.
B+, standing in the pocket too long.
Mike, running backs. How do you grade our running backs?
Let's go A-.
Derpy, running backs.
A-.
Tight ends, tight end play, blocking, catching, the whole 9.
Let's go B+.
Derpy, tight ends.
B+.
Wide receivers, Mike.
Oh, I'm gonna go with an A. Even though George didn't get anything, A, man, he stayed engaged and focused.
Derpy, wide receivers.
A+.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Offensive line, Michael.
Oh, I'm gonna go with an A, man. That was a dominating performance.
Offensive line, Derpy.
B+. There was a couple of false starts.
Over on the defensive side of the ball, Mike, what do you give the defensive line for the game on Saturday?
B+.
Derpy, defensive line.
A minus.
Mike, linebackers. That's inside and out. All of our
Oh, I'm
linebackers.
going to give them an A, man.
Golden, Robinson, everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Even
go with an A.
Highsmith.
Even Highsmith.
All right.
I'm giving
Derpy,
them an A.
linebackers, Derpy.
A plus.
A+, interesting. Also defensive backs, guys. Mike, what do you give the DBs?
I'll go with an A plus, even though we did give up a touchdown. I thought they had a whale of game, especially like Eric Rowe.
Derpy, DBs.
A plus.
All right, Mike. Special teams. What do you give the special teams? The play, the smart play. But then you got to put
Harvin.
Harvin's punt in there.
He had 2 bad punts. He had 2 really good punts. Should have been 3 really good punts.
It was a bad weather game, though, Mike.
Yeah, I know, but still, Presley has that punt that pisses me off. Let's go A minus.
Derpy, special teams.
I'm gonna go A minus.
Mike, coaching.
Coaching, they are getting an A plus for this game.
Derpy, coaching.
The standard is the standard. A plus.
And finally, overall, Mike, what do you give the Pittsburgh Steelers for their performance this past Saturday against the Baltimore Ravens in the elements in Baltimore?
I'm gonna give them an A minus, man.
Derpy, overall.
A.
All right, guys. Another thing I do want to touch on, guys, the schedule teams that we do play this season has been released as of last night because they were able to figure it out. These are the Steeler home games this year, guys. The Steelers at home will play the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns. They'll also play the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Chargers, Giants, and Jets, all at home. Those are our home teams. What the order is, we will find out down the road. The away teams that we play, the Steelers' opponents on the road will be, again, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and then the Atlanta Falcons, the Denver Broncos, Indianapolis Colts, Las Vegas Raiders, the Eagles, and the Commanders. I think with the exception of that Eagles game, it's a pretty simple away schedule, if you ask me. Falcons, Broncos, Colts, Raiders, and Commanders, and then the division teams. I like the looks of that, and the tougher teams seem to be at home. So, that's what you want because you get your home field advantage.
Yeah.
So that is who the Steelers will be playing this upcoming season. It's official. The order, the days, the times, that'll all be sorted out down the road. But as of right now, those are the 17 teams that we play, Mike. That's the NFC East. So we get the Cowboys and the Eagles, and that'll be fun.
I think it will be fun. It's going to be good. It's just weird that we're playing at the Raiders back-to-back years. It's or is that the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that we have the Chiefs at home. I can't remember the last time we played the Chiefs in Pittsburgh.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
And we always go to Arrowhead. It's crazy. It's nice to see them finally come back to the Berg.
Absolutely. Guys, a couple other things here. We had the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are back in action tonight. Mike, the Penguins coming in with a 19-15-4 record, are traveling to Philadelphia tonight to play the hated Flyers. Flyers are 20-13-6. That game is tonight at 7 p.m.
Let's go, Pens. You cannot lose this game.
Pitt Panther basketball at the Pete. They in Louisville, actually, they beat Louisville. Mike, we have Louisville's number no matter what it is. Football, basketball. They beat Louisville 83-70 on Saturday.
Love it.
In the number 14 Duke Blue Devils come to the Pete on tomorrow, Tuesday night, 9:00, big game, Duke at Pitt. Check it out.
Let's go Pitt. Even though I'm not a Pitt fan, I hate Duke with a passion.
Absolutely. Let's get into this. Let's get into one more thing, guys.
All right.
Michigan, Washington, national championship game tonight. Mike, who do you like in this game?
I'm taking Michigan, man. Let's go Big Ten.
Derpy, Michigan, Washington, tonight, national championship. Who do you like in this game?
I'm taking the underdog, Washington.
You know what? I like Washington too. I don't know why. I just do. That's why I'm going to pick that. There's really no rhyme, reason, logic, or anything in my pick.
I think they're going to win, but I want Michigan to win.
I like. I want to see Washington. You never see them win much, so I'm kind of game for that. But again, Michigan, they don't necessarily win it all the time either. So it's that game tonight, 7:30, college national championship. Everybody's been waiting for a while for this, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
let's jump into the trivia, guys. We are going to do a Buffalo Bills trivia question, and then you are going to see me put my own personal health, my own personal well-being on the line here today on this show. That's 100% true. You're going to see that. Let's get through this Buffalo Bill trivia question first, and then we'll make it happen. Of course, the Bills are who the Steelers play this week, so this is who we're going to do our trivia on this week as well. Derpy, Mike, you ready for this, guys?
I am ready.
Here we go.
Right, here we go, fellas. Question of the day. Which Buffalo Bill holds the NFL sack record? Which Buffalo Bill holds the all-time NFL sack record? 200 sacks is the number, the most ever by a player in the league. 200. Take a moment to think that over. If you'd like choices, I'll give them to you when I get back. We are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you missed the show or you'd rather just listen to it, we take the brand new show that we do every day live, and we upload it over on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. If you'd rather just listen to the show, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at the gym, you got the buds in, check it out. It's up on Spotify every day, brand new, 8 o'clock. All right, gentlemen. Question of the day. Which Buffalo Bill holds the NFL all-time sack record with 200 sacks? This is more than anybody ever got in the NFL total combined. Do either one of you guys want choices?
No.
Derpy?
I do.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to let Mike answer. Or no, I'm not going to let Mike answer first.
Let me.
Yeah, Mike. Who do you...
Bruce Smith. Bruce
Smith. Is this your final answer?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to lock you in. Mike is locked in with Bruce Smith. Which Buffalo Bill holds the NFL sack record, Derpy, with 200 total sacks in his career? A. Aaron Schobel. B. Mario Williams. C. Cornelius Bennett. Or D. Bruce Smith. Mike says Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith.
Is that who you want? Is that your final answer, Derpy?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Lock Derpy in place. Question of the day, fellas. Which Buffalo Bill holds the NFL sack record with 200 sacks? Aaron Schobel, Mario Williams, Cornelius Bennett, Bruce Smith. Mike and Derpy both said Bruce Smith, and Brian on the board as well says Bruce Smith, and that is correct, guys. The all-time sack leader with 200 sacks, Bruce Smith.
Hell yeah.
Mike, before I get ready to put my well-being on the line,
I'm ready for this.
Do you have anything that you want to say about anything before I get ready to do this?
No, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to see.
You have no idea what this is.
I have no idea what it is, but for the last 4 minutes of the show, I can't wait to see you put your health on the line.
Derpy, anything from you?
Derpy.
No, I got nothing.
All right. So as you guys remember, on Friday, there was a story that we talked about briefly about a gentleman from Georgia.
No, right.
From a guy from Georgia who couldn't get a bag of potato chips open. So he uses a Bic lighter to get the bag of potato chips open. While doing this, he manages to burn 75% of his body. So what I'm going to do today, right here live in front of you, is I'm going to do the same thing that he did and try to open a bag of potato chips with a lighter, and I'm going to see if I burn over 75% of my body. This is
that's not good.
That's not good.
Children, don't try this at home.
Don't.
Derpy, don't try this at home. Mike?
Maybe we need the football god to come back.
Yeah, maybe we need some voice of reason to talk Ryan out of this.
So I'm going to put my safety goggles on.
Oh, yeah, so they can get burned into your face.
So as you see, I have my safety goggles on, guys. I have a Bic lighter, and I have a bag of classic potato chips here. So I'm going to fumble with the bag as if I couldn't get the bag open. This is what happened to the guy. I have to keep it accurate. This guy
that is going to go up in that's going to go up in a burst of flames.
Both ends, he's trying. So nothing.
This could go really well, or it could go really
he
wrong.
Says to himself, I'm going to grab my lighter and I'm going to open this bag. So Mike, I need you. Of course, I need a drum roll, please.
No, I cannot condone this.
We need a circus team right here.
This is dangerous.
All right, guys, here we go.
You got
I'm taking the potato chips. Apparently, the oils inside the potato chip bag are so flammable. This guy burned 75% of his body by trying to open his potato chips with a lighter.
You're gonna die.
I'm going to test
You're
that.
gonna
I could
die.
be dead. I could be dead 10 seconds from now, guys. So here
Yeah,
we
Ryan,
go.
don't do that. Don't.
Here we go.
He's gonna do it.
I'm taking
Don't
the bag,
do it.
and I'm going to light the bag and attempt to open it with a lighter. Okay.
No, that's highly flammable.
Here we go. And I've taken the bag and I'm lighting it and got some fire. Okay. I guess I could pull a little bit if I want to, because it's technically open now. And then I'm going to take it. I'm going to burn a little on the inside to see if I could get any of that
God,
oil.
you're gonna kill yourself.
Oh, Ryan.
Don't.
Here we go. Ah! No, it's like I'm just playing. Look, and there you go. Bag officially open. I could get my potato chips now. There you have it, guys.
Article. Busted.
Boston. So
But this is like the most deranged episode of Mythbusters ever.
So there you go. I got the potato chips open, which I could have done with my hands. I just want to let you know that. I could have definitely got that done with my hands. I could have did that. But I used a lighter. I made it happen. None of the
Yeah, I'd stop doing that.
I'd stop doing it though.
none of them are catching on fire here. So there you go, guys. Anybody that's seen that story, I don't know what the guy was doing. It seems extremely bizarre to me. But we just proved today that that won't happen if you
we proved that you got lucky.
we proved that I was lucky.
Maybe it was
Yeah,
Doritos.
yeah, we are not condoning this at all. Oh my god.
I do
Maybe
want
it
to
was
say everybody.
Doritos.
I do want to. Well, you know what? The bag that was in the article, they showed the top video. It looked like this particular brand. So I went and I got the same exact thing, whether it was or it wasn't. What we do want to say thank you, everybody, for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you.
The safety glasses were a nice touch.
Hey, I was worried about my safety. We couldn't do this with
Like Pete said, that guy tried to open his potato chips with a lighter in the middle of his meth lab.
yeah, right.
How do you know there's not one at the
He didn't use
There
one
is
of them
not one at the studio.
He didn't mention what. Yeah, he had one of them torch lighters, you know. But I do want to say thank you, everybody, for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We couldn't do it without you. Everybody on the board, you always keep it interesting.
Yes.
Thank you so much, as always.
Like, subscribe, guys.
Yes, subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff down here. We will be back tomorrow. We're gonna be talking more Steelers, getting ready for the playoffs. We got Buffalo this weekend. We got national championship tonight. Some Penguins, other things going on. Enjoy your day. Let's go Steelers. Mike, anything before we take off?
I got nothing, man. I'm just happy you didn't die on air and I didn't have to end the stream.
Derpy.
I was like literally hovering over it.
Cam deserves a ring.
No, he
For
does
the role
not.
of, Jerome. Yes, he does. He's the last
7
player from
tackles in
era.
7 playoff games. This guy's a
He's
bum.
the last player from the 10s era. Come on now.
Yeah, he's the one who got ran all over against that loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You want to win a
He got
win a
ran
Super
up.
Bowl or
I
not?
don't.
You
I
wanna
want to
win
win a
Super
ring,
Bowl
but
or
not for that lazy fuck.
Fair, I guess.
Fair.
I'm sorry, Derp. You like who you like. I'll like who I like. As long as the team wins.
And there you have it, everybody. I also want to do a big special shout out to Ralph today. He knows what he did. I want to thank him for that. And everybody, for the two dumb yinzers, Mike from the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, Derpy, myself, everyone have a great day.